Hey, this is Travel Mama Anna Vaughn, and I am going to tell you today what my top 10 most favorite things are about Guatemala. What do I love about Guatemala? You're about to find out. You're about to find 10 things out. So strap in, here we go. Number 10, the weather. They call this the land of eternal spring. The weather is gorgeous. It's never hotter than 25, and it's never colder than 10. Beautiful year-round. Rains sometimes, doesn't rain other times, but it doesn't have that tropical rain. It's still humane. People love the weather here. It's one of the main pulls for foreigners, especially us from the north, to come down. Number 9, it's the fastest growing economy in Central America. You heard that. There's just under 17 million people here. A large portion live in the city, and yet it has a really strong economy. Due to export, import, yada yada. What I love about living in Guatemala versus other countries in Central America is that Guatemalans travel, Guatemalans own businesses. You're not just separated like tourists and locals. There's a lot more mixing. The city here has the only gay pride parade in all of Central America. There's a lot of amazing art going on. It's very tricked out. It's very progressive. You know, there's a feminist community, more on that later. It's a really cool place. Diverse, cool, modern. Sort of. Number 8, chicken buses. Chicken buses kind of run through Central America, but they ain't like anywhere like they are in Guatemala. I mean, these are closer to like a crazy Indian bus. Chicken buses are old school buses donated from North America. And mostly, and then tricked out and made into these fantastic buses. They go 3,000 kilometers an hour. They're insane. They sell everything on them. You know, there's clown shows, there's just anything. And there's even actually a really funny chicken bus song, and I'll leave the link to that below. Chicken bus culture is number 8. My number 7 reason why I love living in Guatemala is that they're very political here in a really cool way. It's like people actually go out and protest, which I'm not used to in Canada. They ousted their president in 2015 in the first peaceful coup in, I think, Latin American history. Also, they kicked out Monsanto in 2014, which was a female-led protest. More on that later. I really love that people question their government here. What a refreshing idea. Number 6, and this sort of ties into 7, is the feminist movement here. Holy shit, am I into the feminist movement here. At home, I am not into the feminist movement. I mean, feminism is a really broad spectrum. There's room for all the women. There's room for all the opinions. I'm into all of them. For me, I don't feel like I am more free if I am more naked. And in Canada, I don't know when equal pay became free the nipple, but it did. And that seems to be the only version of a woman there. It's like you have to be naked to be heard. Everybody takes their pants off if they're on TV. This strange pornification of women. And if you say anything about it, you're slut shaming. So they've really built in some good ways to silence any other kind of feminism. What I love about here is that it's old school 70s feminism. Well, there's the famous Nobel Peace Prize winning Rigoberta Menchú, I hope I said that right, who's, you know, really well known here as a feminist and putting forward, you know, feminist ideas and, you know, giving voice to feminism to the world from Guatemala. And then also the whole Monsanto thing was female-led. A lot of protests here are female-led, which is really cool. And then there's even like a modern feminism, which is like really riot girl. You know, it's old. It's that tough, in-your-face, F you, I want to be treated equal. I want to be, you know, I want to have a voice as a woman, and screw you, I'm not going to do what you tell me. And that trickles down even into like artists like Rebecca Lane, who is a fantastic rapper and also happens to be a pretty vocal feminist. And man, I love the feminism here. And it's like cool to be a feminist. It's like cool to be a ball-busting, woman-loving, bra-burning, 1970s level, politically active feminist. That shit is real. Number 5 on my list of top 10 things I love about Guatemala, the produce is off the chain. This is the only climate in the world that I have ever seen where it's cold enough to grow garlic and hot enough to grow papayas. Palm trees next to pine trees. This is like the growing country for all of North America. And I mean, I'm Canadian. We know our garlic. The markets here are incredible. Meet the farmer. You can meet the farmer if you want. They also import food. It's not like it's perfect. You can go to the Torre and get all kinds of imported food like any grocery store anywhere in the world. But you can also, for the same price or cheaper, just get real food. There's like 4 seasons for avocados here. I mean, when I lived in Nicaragua, avocados came around once a year, like all the tropics. Grapefruits, once a year. And because in the tropics, there's so little that's from there, or like Mexico's a desert. Ain't nothing growing in Mexico, in the south maybe. The majority of that country is all importing their food from the same shitty places Walmart is. Eating in Guatemala is like, wow. And you can get it at a cheap price, and you have choices, and it's easy, and it's fertile. And the bananas are off the chain, baby. So while I'm talking about food, I might as well just be honest. All the tortillas here are made by hand. When I lived in Mexico, they're all made by machine. They come from machines, and it's like the company's masaca or whatever. And it's just like processed corn or wheat or whatever. Here, they're made by hand with corn that's not processed. So it's like, oh, they're just better, and they're made by hand. They're fresh. I get fresh tortillas every day. Honestly, every time I travel, it's all I want to do is go to the tienda, and for 1 quetzal, get my 4 tortillas. Like, you cannot beat that. Number 3 is the Spanish is hella clear here. When you go to Mexico, they speak a lot of slang. When you go to South America, I mean, does anybody understand the Argentinians? The Chileans speak like a million miles a minute. A lot of places like El Salvador and Colombia, like they kind of don't say the S, they just say do instead of dos. And here in Guatemala, and I heard somewhere it's because Spanish, so much of the country speak native languages as their first language, and Spanish is actually their second language. So they speak a very textbook Spanish here, and it's very easy to learn, it's easy to understand, it's very clear, things are enunciated. This is a beautiful place to learn Spanish. It's a nice, clean, clear, understandable Spanish. Number 3. Number 2 on my top 10 things I love about Guatemala list is Mayan culture. Mayan culture is amazing. It comes down through the Yucatan, Quintana Roo, into Chiapas, and into Guatemala. Chiapas, for those of you that don't know, used to be part of Guatemala, and there's still major beef between Mexico and Guatemala because of that. Mayan culture is old, it's majestic, it's filled with all kinds of folklore. There's lots of languages. There's art. There's astronomy. There's math. There's culture. There's history. They have their own astrological calendar. And here in Guatemala, it's the most alive and well. And having that incredibly rich culture butt up against this sort of Spanish invasion, colonial thing that's here makes it really interesting. You know, the rest of Central America is just sort of like this strip mall, modern, light Latin thing, you know? Guatemala has its own flavor because of that Mayan culture, and it's really beautiful, and it's really breathtaking, and you can tell it's ancient. It feels ancient. It feels majestic, and it's lovely to learn about it, and it's lovely to see it in motion, and it's really has affected this country in a really beautiful way. And the number 1 thing that I absolutely love about living in Guatemala is this. They effing love children here. I mean, they love kids all throughout Latin America. Latin Americans absolutely adore babies. They want to meet your baby. They want to know the story. If you're a single mom, they want to know about that. They want to know why you're traveling. They want all this. And nobody loves babies like Guatemalans love babies. This is the only place that I've traveled so far in Latin America with my daughter where men come up to me just as much as women to meet my baby, hold my baby, talk to me about my baby, learn about my baby. I find that people are the most likely here to let me go first because I have a baby, to help me because I have a baby, and to not be bothered by my baby being a little dick, because kids are turds, they're not always perfect. They just live in the moment, man. They just do what they want. Sometimes that's screaming at the top of their lungs in a restaurant. And in Guatemala, they seem to have the most patience for babies anywhere. They just love babies. So that's my number one reason why I love Guatemala is I feel super welcomed here as a mom. I feel supported and helped and loved and held and blessed, because babies are a blessing, man. And that's it. If you have some things you love about Guatemala that I didn't mention on this list, leave them below. I would love to hear what you love about Guatemala. What is the thing you love the most about here? I think I talk a lot about the differences, but what are the things that you love? If you don't live here anymore, but you're from Guatemala, what do you miss? Like, what is your heart's desire when you're somewhere new? And if you like this video, like it. I mean, it's 2018. It's all about the likes, dude. Everything is about likes. If you want to share it, I'm not against that. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, just subscribe. There's a lot of cute videos of my kid on here. Subscribe.